This is President Bashar al-Assad of Syria, who, when I saw this interview with Charlie Rose, witnessed yet another example of how the American news media cannot be trusted, because they totally smear someone they have an agenda concerning, calling him a mass murderer, killing children and rebels indiscriminately with large stockpiles of chemical weapons. But you can see here, he is nothing like what the news media paints him as. Further, after I saw this, the news media played over and over that he capitulated to UN American demands to disassemble his chemical stockpile, as though that had anything to do with what really happened.
And even a handful of American companies, according to American diplomatic cables and declassified intelligence records, you have amassed one of the largest supplies of chemical weapons in the world.
To have or not to have is a possibility, but to depend on what the media say is nonsense. Or to depend on some of the reports of the intelligence is nonsense, and that has proven when they invaded Iraq 10 years ago, and they said Iraq has stockpile of WMD, and it was proven after the invasion that was false. It was fraud. So we cannot depend on what one magazine wrote. Were attacked chemically, our soldiers. They went to the hospital as casualties because of chemical weapons. But in the area where they said the government used chemical weapons, we only had video and we only have pictures and allegations. We're not there. Our forces, our police, our institutions don't exist. How can you talk about what happened if you don't have evidences?
Secretary Kerry has presented what he concludes is conclusive evidence.
No, he presented his confidence and he presented his convictions. It's not about confidence, it's about evidence. The Russians have completely opposite evidence that the missiles were thrown from area where the rebels control. That reminds me about what Kerry said, about the big lie that Colin Powell said in front of the world on satellites about the WMD in Iraq before going to war, when he said, this is our evidence. Actually, he gave false evidence. In this case, Kerry didn't even present any evidence. He talked, we have evidence, and he didn't present anything. Not yet, nothing so far.
Well, the United...
not single shred of evidence. Yeah.
Do you have some remorse for those bodies, those people? It is said to be up to at least 1,000 or perhaps 1,400 who were in Eastern Ghouta who died.
We feel pain for every Syrian victim.
But what about victims of this assault from chemical warfare?
Dead is dead. Killing is killing. Crime is crime. When you feel pain about their family, about the loss that you have in your country. Whether one person killed, or 100, or 1,000. It's a loss. It's a crime. It's a moral issue. We have family that we sit with, family that they lost their dear ones. It's not about how they killed. It's about they are dead now. This is the bad thing.
Has there been any remorse or sadness on behalf of the Syrian people for what happened?
I think sadness prevails in Syria now. We don't feel anything else but sadness, because we have this killing every day, whether chemical or whether with any kind. It's not about how. We feel with it every day.
But this was indiscriminate, and children.